After dusk, the preacher of the Brahmo Samaj conducted the service from the pulpit. The service was interspersed with recitations from the Upanishads and the singing of Brahmo songs. After the service, the master and the preacher conversed. Master: Well, it seems to me that both the formless deity and God with form are real. What do you say? Preacher: Sir, I compare the formless God to the electric current, which is not seen with the eyes, but can be felt. Master: Yes, both are true. God with form is as real as God without form. Do you know what describing God as being formless only is like? It is like a man's playing only a monotone on his flute, though it has 7 holes. But on the same instrument, another man plays different melodies. Likewise, in how many ways the believers in a personal God enjoy Him. They enjoy Him through many different attitudes. The serene attitude, the attitude of a servant, a friend, a mother, a husband, or a lover. You see, the thing is, somehow or the other, to get into the lake of the nectar of immortality. Suppose one person gets into it by propitiating the deity with hymns and worship, and you are pushed into it. The result will be the same. Both of you will certainly become immortal. I give the Brahmos the illustration of water and ice. Satchidanand is like an endless expanse of water. The water of the great ocean in cold regions freezes into blocks of ice. Similarly, through the cooling influence of divine love, Satchidananda assumes forms for the sake of the bhaktas. The rishis had the vision of the super sensuous spirit form and talked with it. But devotees acquire a love body, and with its help they see the spirit form of the Absolute. It is also said in the Vedas that Brahman is beyond mind and words. The heat of the sun of knowledge melts the ice-like form of the personal God. On attaining the knowledge of Brahman and communing with it in Nirvikalpa Samadhi, one realizes Brahman, the infinite, without form or shape, and beyond mind and words. The nature of Brahman cannot be described. About it, one remains silent. Who can explain the infinite in words? However high a bird may soar, there are regions still higher. What do you say? Preacher: Yes, sir. It is so stated in the Vedanta philosophy. Master. Once a salt doll went to the ocean to measure its depth, but it could not come back to give a report. According to one school of thought, sages like Shukadeva saw and touched the ocean of Brahman, but did not plunge into it. Once I said to Vidyasagar, everything else but Brahman has been polluted, as it were, like food touched by the tongue. In other words, no one has been able to describe what Brahman is. A thing once uttered by the tongue becomes polluted. Vidyasagar, great Pandit though he was highly pleased with my remarks. It is said that there are places near Kedar that are covered with eternal snow. He who climbs too high cannot come back. Footnote: Kedar, a high peak in the Himalayas, which is a place of pilgrimage for the Hindus. Footnote ends. Those who have tried to find out what there is in the higher regions, or what one feels there, have not come back to tell us about it. After having the vision of God, man is overpowered with bliss. He becomes silent. Who will speak? Who will explain? The king lives beyond 7 gates. At each gate sits a man endowed with great power and glory. At each gate the visitor asks, "Is this the king?" The gatekeeper answers, "No, not this, not this." The visitor passes through the 7th gate and becomes overpowered with joy. He is speechless. This time, he doesn't have to ask, "Is this the king?" The mere sight of him removes all doubts. Preacher: Yes, sir. It is so described in Vedanta.